Welcome back to the podcast. We have not seen you guys in a couple weeks, so it's good to be back. I'm joined by my brothers, Tyler and Brian.
Am I a brother now?
You're a brother in Christ.
My man. Appreciate that.
Granger, he
Tell-
left us.
Tell him the
He
truth.
forgot about us, and he doesn't care.
Why are y'all looking at me?
Tyler has been bailed on twice today.
What happened? You don't have to say it. Never mind.
Ben called me at like 10:30 and said, "I just now realized it's Wednesday, and I am so sorry."
Uh-oh.
Tyler meets a guy for coffee on Wednesdays. That's currently the day that we're filming this.
Most
And
Wednesdays.
he meets Ben most Wednesdays at 6 a.m. at a coffee shop. So he drove like 30 minutes, and
It wasn't 30; it was like 15.
Did you get coffee still?
I got 2. Got stood up.
Oh, man. That's a bummer.
Granger just texted us and said he didn't see the podcast on his calendar. So Granger won't be joining us today, but you have the man behind the camera who runs all of this stuff, Brian, who used to be on the podcast before we kicked him off.
Back in the day, me and Ben and Hayden, we had a good time. Nothing serious was ever talked about, but it was fun.
So I kind of wanted to touch briefly, since probably what title and thumbnail will be about this video is Israel and Iran situation going on there. I kind of got some bullet points from on my notes here. We have 6 straight days of exchanges between Israel and Iran. Granger would probably have some interesting thoughts on this. He knows the history of Israel and how everybody wants to annihilate Israel.
Yeah.
Israeli forces launched airstrikes across at least 40 to 50 sites in Iran, including nuclear facilities. Iran responded with 400 plus missiles and drones, including hypersonic missiles. Israel's strikes eliminated a lot of different Iranian leaders, and Trump has gotten involved. He's demanded Iran, I guess it's Iran, that's my bad,
I think so.
Iran's unconditional surrender, escalated warnings, and mobilized U.S. military assets, including aircraft and naval groups. Iran's supreme leader rejected the demands. So pretty crazy. I know that Iran's leaders have said that they want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. And they have said that about the United States as well, which I never really realized that they hated us that much.
Why is that? Just because
I believe that it's a deeply theological at its root. I was listening to Al Mohler's podcast called The Briefing a few days ago, and he was talking about like inherently in that sect of Islam that they would view really the rest of the world as infidels and the enemy.
So
especially the Jews. They hate the Jews.
That's interesting. So why is like America getting involved in this?
That's a great question.
Do y'all know, like, if you have these two countries fighting, why is America stepping in? But I think historically we've done that in a lot of wars, but maybe I didn't pay attention well enough in history class to understand why.
I was trying to think about why.
Also, did y'all see the video of the missiles like hitting Israel?
Yeah.
Like
Did you see those, Tyler?
at night.
Yeah.
They're insane. That was some of the craziest videos I've ever seen. Iran is a Shiite theocracy. Its government is built on the idea that Islamic clerics should rule until the return of their end-time savior. The Great Satan is a term used by them in 1979 to describe America being morally corrupt, godless. They would view it as a spiritual battle. So Iran used to be like a normal country, and then they were appointed a leader. And then in 1979, there was Islamic Revolution. Iran overthrew the Shah, who was backed by the United States and appointed. And then they had this like Muslim sect kind of take over. And then, So to answer your question, I'm on ChatGPT here, kind of giving me some bullet points. Why would the U.S. defend Israel? Israel is America's strongest ally in the Middle East.
Okay.
The U.S. gives Israel $3.8 billion a year in military aid. if Iran attacks Israel directly, the U.S. sees it as a threat to an ally. So, there you go. Israel is also just like really good at, because I could see it like, why should we get involved, and like America first, but then you also see it as just like the good of humanity is Israel is so good at destroying different terrorist targets and terrorist leaders over there in such a dark part of the world.
Yeah, that's so true.
I watched a video last night on them enriching uranium. Do you guys know anything about that?
Isn't
Like
that for nuclear bombs?
Yeah, preparing a nuclear bomb.
Gosh.
So they have these like facilities underground, protected by bunkers, where the uranium is like a natural resource there that they cut into. The rocks fall down. They send a remote controlled powered like dump truck to go pick it up. It takes it to an enriching factory, and basically the way it works is there's two different types of like particles, if you will, in uranium, in raw uranium. Sorry if I'm boring, I'll keep it short, but it's kind of interesting like how they make a nuclear bomb. YouTube's definitely gonna take this down. We're like hitting every
new title: How to Make a Nuclear Bomb.
Yeah. So basically, I can't remember the two names of them, but there's two different particles. One of them's heavier, one of them's lighter. And so if you get any raw uranium, like 3% of it is going to have the part that like can create a nuclear bomb, and the 96% of it or 97% of it is just like other junk. And so they put it in these enrichment facilities that spins it really fast, and it causes the heavy particles that are more harmless to fall down. And then it causes the lighter materials that you can use, the lighter uranium that you can use to make a nuclear bomb, to stay up top. And so it's like a really long, really expensive process. And then once they get enough of that stuff that makes a nuclear bomb, then it's like technically enriched. And I don't really know the process that happens after that, but apparently they were very close to
having a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Gosh. And apparently they were like days away before Israel.
So Israel bombed some of their uranium sites.
Some of their uranium enrichment facilities, factories. They killed like 5 of their top scientists that were in charge of enriching this uranium, that were like heads of the Iranian nuclear program. And so apparently they have really deep bunkers. Apparently Iran is known for having really strong concrete that can really withhold, can keep out missiles. And so apparently the U.S. is, I just did a deep dive on this, and so that's the only reason I know anything about it, and then I'll shut up. But I'll explain what I know so far. But basically the U.S. has these $15 million missiles. One missile is $15 million. It's 30,000 pounds, and they can only carry it in a B-2 bomber. Nice. And it can carry 2. It's the only aircraft in the world that can carry it. And it's designed with GPS, and it's designed so that it can go into 200 feet of concrete.
No way.
So it goes into the ground. So they build these enrichment facilities in mountains to hide them from everybody. And so it can go in through the earth, and then 200 feet of concrete, and then it has a delayed fuse, and then it blows up. So
that's crazy.
That's kind of the big drama right now of people figuring out, is the U.S. going to loan them some of these? Well, I think the U.S. would have to fire them, because only the American B-2 bomber can do it. I think it's the B-2. So that's kind of the update. But
on nuclear war.
Yeah.
Do you think it would ever be an issue here, where we would ever be fighting in our homeland?
I was thinking what a blessing it is that we're so far over here.
Yeah. Yeah, if we were closer, it could definitely be a threat. But it seems like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's much of a threat here as of right now. What do you think?
I mean, anything's a threat now with modern technology and missiles, right?
Yeah.
You just press a button and we explode.
Yeah. But I don't think we would ever like have to fight a war on our homeland.
You mean like Civil War style?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. You never know.
He means like a ground attack.
Like Red Dawn style.
like they deploy troops in the United States. It would just be really expensive for them to do that. It's obviously possible.
Yeah.
We did it to we invaded France,
Yeah.
but
Happened a long time ago with Columbus.
Christopher Columbus. Yep.
any other thoughts on that?
What side are you on?
I'm kind of in between. I don't know if, I mean, obviously I'm on Israel's side, but I just don't know how involved we should be.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what people think in the comments that's listening on YouTube, but
I saw something. Wasn't Trump trying to like barter a peace deal between it, and then Israel went and striked Iran, or no, I think it was vice versa, something like that.
Trump offered them a deal and they declined it.
Yeah.
And then so now they're like coming to Trump, like begging for him to stop.
Yeah.
Like some of the headlines were like Iran is begging for mercy,
Huh.
and Trump's not giving it to him because he's so mean. But Trump was like, I offered them the deal. They declined it. I told them they have to stop their nuclear program.
Yeah.
We can't live in a world where when a country who says that America is the great Satan and wants to wipe us off the earth, why would we allow them to create nuclear bombs?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. But yeah, there's this YouTube channel called AI Telly that was really awesome that I was watching last night, and he was explaining like Iran's military and where they get their fighter jets and how a lot of them are American made. They're all old American F-14s.
Like in Top Gun, the old F-14 that he finds.
Yeah. They're all bought from America and Russia, and the Russian MiG-29s.
They wouldn't stand a chance against our new fighter jets, though. The F-35s.
You just got your pilot's license.
I did
Yesterday.
It's pretty exciting. It's been a dream for like 15 years. And so.
Next up, you'll fly the F-35, right?
Yep. So just finished in a Piper. Now next is F-35. So pretty exciting.
He's joking, everybody.
Yep. No F-35.
Was it so all in all, how long did it take, the process?
It normally doesn't take this long, but it took me 2 years. I took a big break last year, and so from start to finish was 2 years, and a lot of studying and a lot of flying, and a lot of money. It wasn't cheap, unfortunately, but
Wow.
It's a lot better than driving, that's for sure.
So what is your ultimate goal with that?
Like,
is there a practical purpose of getting your pilot's license?
yeah, Tyler's told me if I got my pilot's license, we could fly to his ranch and go hunting. So that was the goal. No, it's always been a dream. Wanted to grew up next to an airport, and just wanted to always like fly planes and go places. And so now I'll be able to fly home and see my parents and take little trips here and there. But
So how does that work? Do you have to buy a plane now?
we'll probably just rent a plane for a little while, and then save up some money and hopefully buy a cheap, very old plane. Is
Sounds
the goal.
sketchy.
It is sketchy, but they actually get an annual inspection every year and get completely taken apart, and so it's fairly safe. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have a Yee airplane and a Yee life video one day.
Can we have a big camo? Is that allowed?
We could get a camo airplane,
Really?
maybe. I don't see
Can
why
you do
not.
any paint scheme that you want?
I think so. I don't see why we couldn't.
It just probably has to have like a certified number or
It has to have
something
the
on
tail
it
number
somewhere.
on it. Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen a camo civilian airplane.
I think we should do it. If we start selling some more T-shirts.
Can
we'll
you
buy
put
it.
like some can you put stuff under the wings that looks like missiles just for fun?
Yeah. I don't think there's any regulation. Well, I don't know if we could alter the plane to make it. It would change some of the aerodynamics of the plane. So, but legally we can drop stuff out of the plane,
Really?
which is kind of a misconception. But it can't cause any damage to people or property. So
What if it's your own property?
I don't know. I don't see why not. People will drop bags of flour, and because you can see it hit the ground, and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, makes a little cloud.
That would be interesting. Maybe we should do that on Yee Life.
Yeah.
Trying to drop stuff onto our farm from an airplane.
I don't know if my the school I rent the plane from would like that, but
It's just like your very first week of your pilot's license. They see
just
this
dropping
thumbnail.
stuff out the. Yeah, that was the real reason why I got it. But what's new in y'all's life? I feel
Wow.
like we don't talk anymore.
You want to change the subject?
Yeah. There's too many pilot memes about people just inserting that they're a pilot, and so.
How you doing? Hey, nice to meet you. I'm a pilot.
Yeah, I don't want to be in that realm necessarily.
All right, last question. How much does it cost to rent?
To rent an airplane.
Yeah.
A cheap old airplane is about $150 an hour, and so that's just while the engine's turned on. So if you go somewhere and stop and eat lunch, it's not counting that. So it's definitely more expensive than a car, but that does include the fuel. So it's a little more pricey, but you're paying for the convenience and the views. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
What's new in my life? I don't know.
How's David?
He's good. Yep. David is my son. He's like 17 months old.
When
doing
is he
well.
gonna outgrow months?
At 2, I think.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Almost there.
Yep. I can stop remembering the months. Yeah.
T-Money, what's going on, man?
Oh, I'll tell you what's going on. But I can't say it yet.
Any update on that?
You're just going to have to wait.
You're still waiting.
We'll know more Monday.
Monday? That's exciting. I
Is
saw
it
you.
looking good?
I don't know. Stuff like this takes a while.
I saw your pumpkin seeds. You got it. Made it here.
Yeah, I was talking to Justin today about getting those in the ground. I mean, that's going to be a process, though.
Can we tease that at all? I think we
Yeah,
have.
I think we've talked about how we're going to try to bring people to the farm more and sell Christmas trees and pumpkins and do more stuff than just Yee Fest.
Yeah. That'd be
But
fun.
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
What would be the first year that we'd be able to do that?
We can do it this year.
Pumpkins would grow that fast?
90 to 120 days, depending on what variety you get.
So we would, if we wanted people to come like beginning of October.
Yeah, we'd have to plant like now.
Yeah.
July, August, September.
Do you have I think we should plant them like alongside the mud bog.
The only problem is we got to get water to them.
So we need to plant them near the
Well.
well.
Would the farmer take care of them?
There's no taking care of it. If we get a dripper system, and then we just need to at least once a week get rid of weeds.
Ooh.
So it'd be like all hands on deck. Everyone
Which would be-
drop your work you're doing,
That
and we're
sounds
going to
awful.
pull weeds. I think that comes with the
Just go
territory of
film some
working
Yee
here.
Life episodes. People would love that.
Pulling weeds at the pumpkin patch.
How many pumpkins to stop a 50 cal?
That would be fun. All the leftover pumpkins.
We had to scrap our video today.
Why?
We were shooting a punching bag, 100-pound punching bag, and then it just didn't stop what we were hoping it would stop. We saw another video of a guy shooting and it stopped everything up to a 50 cal, and so I guess we just got the wrong one. But yeah, filmed for like an hour and 45
Isn't that
minutes.
the point? You want stuff to stop bullets?
Yeah, it didn't stop it.
It didn't stop.
Didn't stop
like
a 50 cal?
It didn't stop.
No, it
hardly
didn't
anything.
stop like a pistol, and so we didn't even get to the 50 cal.
With Yee Life, do you?
I still think that's worth doing, though.
But then, if you shoot it through, then you have like 6 more calibers to go, and you know they're all gonna go through it. I feel like
Yeah.
it takes some of the excitement out of it, some of the
Yeah.
experiments out of it.
Yeah, we went back and forth, but we decided to just get a heavier bag and reshoot it and see if
Are
it
you
worked.
saying the pistol went through it, the
Mhm.
first one? I thought you said it stopped it.
Yeah.
Was it last month we were talking about Yee Life hitting 2 million subscribers?
Bless you.
Have you looked?
I don't know.
This month we're close to 3 million.
Yep.
What do you feel like y'all will change stuff eventually, or just keep going how you're going?
All you can do really is just take it video by video. I have really no idea. We're just kind of doing what works right now.
I see a lot of comments of people saying like you should collab with other YouTubers. What does that make you think? Like, do you think you could? Is that something you would want to do? What would that look like?
I don't see myself enjoying that
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and I don't necessarily see the benefit of it unless there was just somebody that I really wanted to meet and hang out with. But I just kind of like hanging out at the farm and like being with my family in the evenings, and like I don't really have a desire to like travel across the U.S. for like, I don't know.
To
It
go
just seems like what we're
for
doing is
re-
working.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I could see how it could be beneficial to like collab with people and how you could reach new audiences, I guess. But
Uh-huh.
also, it's just like I don't think we really need that.
It may be hard to, yeah, kind of. I think especially with this channel to kind of like write it into any of the storylines and or like how y'all are going about each of these videos. It would be hard to like bring in a whole nother personality, unless you were just having them shoot it. But
Mhm. Like with Kentaro.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and then also at the same time, like it's just a good reminder that like regardless of what your job is, even if you're shooting stuff on a YouTube channel, it's still work after a certain amount of time. And it's just like there's always a reason to complain. The grass is always greener, you know.
Like-
So it's just a good reminder to like of contentment.
The grass is always greener. It's crazy. You could
Mhm.
write out a list of everything you wanted and then get it 5 years later and still not be content.
If I were you guys, I'd be filming at 6 a.m., man. I don't know how y'all do it in the middle of the day.
Even at like 9:30, it was just really hot.
The only time to do it right now is between 6 and 8's like the last cutoff.
Mm.
I would do it from 6 to 7 is your window, though.
Yeah, I just got to work out in the afternoons, I guess. I don't know. It's just-
6
I
to
just don't know if
7, we
that's
work
worth
out at 8.
It takes like 4 hours to film usually.
Why does it
So,
take so long? It used to not take that long.
I think it was just the YouTube Shorts that didn't take long.
So now you have translated or moved into more doing long form videos. Let's take a little more time to.
What's the reasoning with that?
I think short form views are like people just don't buy into the brand as much as they do when they're like.
Is that your opinion or is that a fact?
It's a good question. I think that it's a fact, but that's my opinion.
That is a fact. That it is my.
I think that long form views, you don't get to see somebody's personality. You don't get to hear like who they are, what they're doing. It's just like quick dopamine hit of like, what is this happening? He just shot something 50 cal, cool. But like, you're not gonna like, I wouldn't think that you would necessarily like be as likely to be bought in. Good example is the Smiths, Granger's vlog, family vlog. A lot of times you'd rather have 10,000 people viewing your long form views than, I don't know, 5 million with a short form view. You know,
And
people are going to be much more loyal and support you.
Yeah, I think it's like the viewer investment too, because like it does not take much of a time investment to watch a short and to like get into watching people's shorts. But to commit to watching, and this sounds so stupid, but to commit to watching long form videos nowadays because of the whole world has gone to short form, it is more valuable, and then people feel like they have more of a connection because they just spent 25 minutes watching you or whatever the case is.
If the goal ultimately is to grow the Yee brand and give glory to God, I think you could do it with shorts only, but I just think that I think it could be worth it to do the longer videos to get people bought in to support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun to see it grow so fast. I keep thinking like, oh, okay, it's going to slow down a little bit, you know, but it's just like continues to surprise me how it's just getting faster and faster and faster.
Yeah, man, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But
Because I think you see that a lot in a lot of YouTube channels, where it'll rise up and then kind of plateau, but still rise, but it's just like a slower, but it's just continued to get faster with this channel, so it's been cool.
yeah, especially as a Christian, it's just weird. It's just strange. You know, you live in the upside down world where
Mm-hmm.
you don't desire to become rich. You don't desire to become famous. Those things don't interest you.
Yeah.
Or if they do, it's just sin in you. and you're trying to kill that. So it's just like a weird place where you're like, all right, I enjoy this. You grow it to the glory of God, and also recognize how it can be really hazardous. So it's just like it's a weird place. But I've kind of struggled with almost viewing it as like a curse, or God's testing me like in a bad way, or like this is the beginning of my downfall. But I'm trying to like rethink that into like, it just is what it is. It's a platform, and it can be used for good or bad.
And just kind of compartmentalizing it, and like that's not your identity whatsoever. It's just something you do at work for a couple hours a day, and that's it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that I don't take the camera home or anything.
Yeah, that is nice. You get to go home and not touch it or think about it.
Cool. Well, in there, thank you guys for listening. Kind of a weird episode. Thanks for hanging in there. Iran, Israel. Got a little Yee life. Brian's pilot license. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next week.
See you, Tyler.